It's time to learn a new mood of the verb, the imperative. We've already learned the indicative mood, and this is our storytelling mood. This is when we want to express a fact. The imperative is a command. Now, in Greek, we have two basic types of command, two tenses. We've got the present tense, and this is actually not going to be tense, it's going to be aspect. So we've got the aspect of the present, that is ongoing action. And then we've got the aorist, which is going to give us simple action. Most commands, in fact, are going to be in the aorist, right? You want somebody to take something. You want somebody to fight. You don't want, but marching. Let's be marching. If it were aorist, it's let's start to march. If it were present, get going. Be on the go. So we've got present and aorist, and of course with aorist we've got both strong and weak. And with the aorist, what you're going to notice is there is no augment. Remember that epsilon augment only occurs in the indicative. So we're going to drop the augment off just like we did for the infinitives. And then we're just going to have our simple aorist stem. And the other thing that I want you to notice is, in addition to having two different tenses, which are aspectual, we're going to have second person, right? You, which is how you usually think of commands. And this can be singular or plural, or we can have third person commands. And you translate these as let him or her, or let them do something. So let's take a look at these. Let's start with the present. Right? Pempo, to send. So the second singular is pempe. We're just going to add an epsilon right onto the stem. And the middle and passive, remember that in the present tense, middle and passive are the same. Pempu. And this is actually a contraction of eso. So we drop off that intervocalic sigma, this contracts, and we get pempu. So this is with every verb, second singular pempe or pempu. And you're going to have to memorize these new endings. That's just the way it is. But as you will see, I hope, there are carryovers between the present and the aorists. Third singular, let him send, let him be sending. Pempeto. There's our ending, eto. And in the middle passive, pempesto. Right, remember this ending here. That will be useful. You'll see that again and again, as you will this. So send, plural, be sending, pempete. Notice this is this is exactly the same as the indicative. And I missed a mu in there. Pempeste. So there, again, like the indicative, second plural indicative. So the thing to remember is second plural equals indicative. So you already know that one. That's nice. And then third plural, I missed a mu again. Pemponton, remember that ending. Let them send. And pempestum, let them be sent. Let them be sent. Or let them be being sent, if you want to get that present aspect to it. All right, so pempe, pempu, pempeto, pempesto, pempeto, pempeste, pemponton, pempeston. And one thing to remember that I'll signal you in all the way, all third singular actives will have this to. All third plural actives will have the tone. And with middles, esto and eston, you're going to see those over and over again. So let's move on to the aorist, that simple command. Our aorist stem, we're going to start with our aorist stem. There's the weak aorist stem of sozo, to save. Drop off the augment, and own, soson. Middle, sosai. Remember the aorist has separate forms for the aorist active, middle, and passive. So sosai, there's our ending. And sotheti. Sixth principal part, no augment, and the ending t, or at. Remember that eta really is part of that stem, that theme vowel. So sotheti. Third plural, let let him save. Sosa, there's our stem, and to, just like we saw with the presents. Sosato, sosasto, there's our aorist stem, no augment, and that stho, here the alpha, because we're in the weak aorist, and sotheto. There's our toe, just like we had in the active. And remember, the aorist passives have actually active endings. Sosate, same as the indicative, except no augment. Ate, sosaste, same as the aorist middle, except no augment. And sothete. And this too, same as the aorist passive, but no augment. And then third, that should be plural there. Sosanton, stem, there's our onton. Sosaston, there's our same ending there that we've been seeing. And sothenton, there's our endton again. And then the strong aorist. Remember, the strong aorist has endings very similar to the present. Well, here we see it. Labe. Accent is slightly different. The accent is different on some strong aorists. Your book gives a list of these. The ending's still the same. It's the accent that's different. Labu, same ending here. Remember, no augment because we're in the aorist imperative. And leiftheti. So there's our stem, and there's our T. Just like the weak aorist. Remember, the weak aorist and the strong aorist in the passive is the same. Labato. Right, there's our ending. Labesto. We've seen that before. And leiftheto. There's our ending again, our toe. Labete, labeste, lathete. All right. Second plural is like the indicative, but without the augment. And then the plural, third plural, let them take. Labonton. There's our unton. Labeston. We've seen that before. Leifthenton. We've seen that one before. So things to keep in mind. Aorists don't have augments. The difference between the present and the aorist is a matter of aspect. And then finally, we've got some similarity in endings. The strong aorist endings in active and middle are the same as the present. The third singular endings are consistent across the board. Right? The third plurals are consistent across the board, in the actives and middles anyway. And the passives, the aorist passives, are the same whether it's strong or weak aorist. You just need to know that sixth principal part. So practice these, give yourself a couple of verbs to form, and you'll have them memorized.